Hey guys, welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. It's TJ, your gamer girl, signing on. So, last episode, we basically shared our poems with everyone. And Sayori technically liked ours the best, because judging by the way I was inputting the words, it seemed like, her thingy popped up more than the other girls, so I guess the poetry is how we determine which girl we're gonna get? I don't know. So let's just continue on. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute? Cute? Did you completely miss a symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks. But it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Baka did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Baka liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Baka appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Baka started showing up. Why does it always go? Those two are... Like, this is a stereotype in almost every anime that involves a character with a figure like Natsuki. Just because she's got smaller boobs, just because someone has bigger boobs, it's just... Natsuki? Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like you fighting, guys! Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Baka, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true! She started it! If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making your poems all convoluted for no reason. The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force him to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Baka. Oh, wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Baka? Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I'll agree with will probably think more highly of me. So of course it's going either Natsuki, Sayori, or help! No, Natsuki, Yuri, or help me, Sayori! Excuse me. Okay, well, I'm going to look at this as an amateur writer myself, and yes, I do call myself an amateur because I can't possibly call myself a professional. While the simple writing does get your point across, sometimes there is a beauty to the way Yuri was writing it. Even if it can be convoluted. So I'm actually gonna go with Yuri on this one. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri. Huh? You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Oh, well, that's... But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting their feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Don't! She stepped the line. She's the one whose fuse lit up the second she said something. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to. You know what? I'm going to do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her poem up from the desk and storms out. Seriously! She's being an immature little brat! Like, I can have anger problems myself, I will admit. But, last I checked anyways, I would take it if someone called my writing cute. I would take that as a compliment. That means I did something right. But Natsuki, just as soon as Yuri says that her poems are cute, that her poem was cute, she took it as the biggest insult she could have ever imagined it to be. It's so immature and 5-year-old-ish. That's something a kindergartner does when they don't get their way. Moving on. On her way out, she crumples up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. That's even more 5-year-old-ish! I'm sorry, are you in high school or kindergarten? Come on, class is over. Let's grow up a little bit. Natsuki, she really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. Can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri! How can anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well... Alright, I believe you. Thanks, Baka. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you a part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. So, huh? What thing did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. I'm going to make some tea. Ah, good idea. I'm making it for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems, besides the temper tantrum Natsuki threw? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Baka, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you'll learn something from your friends, too. So, your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, probably not. Because the character himself has trouble with poems. I can't write poems for shit. I'm a story writer. A fiction story writer. I don't do poems. I tried poems. They're not my thing. Did I learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes? With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Baka! Ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori. About what happened earlier. Huh? Oh, what do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often? No! That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise, they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? Well, I'm a little questionable on Natsuki for being a freaking stupid little brat. No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew! You know, Baka? It's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... Every day's gonna be so much fun. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but... Does it really need to stop there? Oh, we'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay! Yeah, let's do this. And now, we get to write a new poem. So... Infinite... Melody... Warm... Bliss... Marshmallow... Daydream... clouds. Romance. Unending. Judgment. Anime! Was that in the last one? I didn't even notice. Unrestrained. Destiny. Unrequited. Childhood. Peaceful. Waterfall. Intellectual variance. Journey extraordinary. Another day passes and it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Hi, Baka! Yo, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to you being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. But I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, kinda hungry. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. Excuse me. That's not like you at all. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Why that? All of a sudden? No reason, really. I just wanted to look at it. Sayori nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. Then she turns it on upside down and lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fall out. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. It's not fair. How'd you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have bought a snack before coming to the club room. So either you're not hungry and want an excuse to take a walk, or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry. And so, that leaves the one option. I give up! Don't make me feel guilty! If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Yuri suddenly giggles. Eh? I didn't notice that she was listening in. Her face is in her book as always. I wasn't listening or anything. It was just something in my book. Yuri? Tell Baka to let me borrow some money. Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after pulling a mischievous little stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. Damn! Dude, Yuri, you're more savage than I am! I didn't mean that. I get too absorbed in my book. I really like it when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a good side of you. There's no way you could think that. You were right, though. I did something bad and now I have to accept the revolution. Resolution. Don't you mean resolution? Retribution. Bah! Still, coming from you, Sayori. I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes. So I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, God. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. Yeah. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto the desk. Ow! What was... that cookie? Sure enough, it's a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution! Retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. I was just gonna give it to you, but then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction, though. Natsuki! That's so nice of you! I'm so happy! Sayori hugs the cookie. Did you miss the part where she heard you say that you tricked Natsuki into making the cupcakes? Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. So good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. Oh, what kind of cookie was it, Natsuki? I bit my tongue. Oh. I know the feeling, girl. I know the feeling. You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez. Beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah? Why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayori goes out of her seat and goes by Natsuki, then wraps her arms around her. Ah! Jeez. I get it! Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off of her. Sayori suddenly leans in and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Mouthful, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri and I laugh as well. Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monika, can you tell Sayori? Eh? Natsuki glances around. Monika is in the club room. Where's Monika anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She probably just has something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. Huh? You don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. That's true. Excuse me? Suddenly, the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Ah, there you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Eh? Monika chose the club over her boyfriend after all. You're so strong-willed. Boyfriend? What are you talking about? And Monika quizzically glances at me. Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Oh well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of just lost track of time. Well, that makes no sense, though. You would have heard the bell ring at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music at all, Monika. I don't really. I just kind of just started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool. You should play sometime. You should play something for us, Monika. Monika looks at me. Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. Yay! That sounds cool. I'd also look forward to it. Said so. In that case, I won't let you down, Baka. Monika smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I've been practicing a whole lot recently. And I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? No, not really. I chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyway. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri's back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap! I like she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing that I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. I was focused, if I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. And not for any particular reason. Just curious. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Oh, well, I stopped at the bookstore yesterday. That's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. And once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well? Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is called Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Baka? No, it's not that. I mean, I could definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a new perspective. When horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put into my bag. Alright. It's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. You sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I opened the book and started the prologue. I understood what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. It may be a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks as if she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the pages. Here. Hey! That is actually a very flattering shot. I'm not gonna lie. Yuri is my Doki Doki waifu. I just love her calm and reserved nature compared to Natsuki and Sayori. I know a lot of people, apparently I've heard that a lot of people love Natsuki, but I gotta go for Yuri. I'm sorry, okay? Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it of my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it on her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see it in your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Baka? It's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. It's so embarrassing that you think that. Oh, wait. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. Sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I take mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Okay. That's where I'm going to leave this episode. So, the next one, we'll share the poem and see what happens. Hopefully we don't get another temper tantrum out of Natsuki. Because seriously, that was really stupid and immature of her. So, Until then, this is the Gamer Girl signing off. Bye bye.